Now that's what I call high quality H2O.
Hey guys, we have a responsibility. I'm down here at Mansfield's Dam. Right behind me here, you can see that's Sometimes Island right there. A lot of you guys who are familiar with this area know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm out here in the middle of Lake Travis. Sometimes Island's not so sometimes right now. It's full-time island right now. It's almost connected all the way to Mansfield's Dam, minus this little gap right down here. But that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about, among other things. Primarily though, we have a responsibility. It's multifaceted, but in this instance, I'm sure you can see what I'm talking about. We have a responsibility to save water, to do the environmentally friendly thing, the environmentally friendly right thing. Swimming pools, your average swimming pool is about 20,000 gallons. Like most residential homes won't use 20,000 gallons in a year, like taking showers, doing dishes, washing clothes. However you might use the water. If you're watering your yard, maybe you're going to use a little more. I don't really know, honestly, guys, but I just know that 20,000 gallons of water is a lot of water. It's a lot of water. When you consider how many pools there are across Austin, across Texas, across the US for that matter, but right now I'm focusing on our lake. These are our people. I'm sure wherever you're at, you might have a similar issue as well. When you consider how many pools there are, how many of them, and they average 20,000 gallons, you can't help but think about how much of a difference, of an impact we could have if we were saving water. Here's the problem. Chlorine pools have to be drained and refilled on a regular basis due to cyanuric acid. Okay, cyanuric acid protects chlorine from UV, from the sun. If it weren't for cyanuric acid, the sun would dissipate chlorine very quickly. It wouldn't last more than a day. So we use what's called stabilizer, cyanuric acid, to stabilize the chlorine so that it lasts longer in the sun. The problem is, after several swim seasons go by, your stabilizer levels increase and it causes your chlorine levels to become less and less effective. Chlorine's very expensive, so you don't want it to be ineffective. And after a while, when it becomes very ineffective and you have constant algae blooms and you're treating the pool with everything you can and you're shocking it heavy and using all the chlorine you can and you're still having algae blooms, you have to drain and refill the pool. Now, maybe you have to do a partial drain and refill. Maybe you have to do a complete drain and refill. Maybe you're draining and refilling it on an often enough basis that you never have to do a partial or a complete drain and refill because you're partially draining it so often, adding fresh water so often. Every chlorine pool is this way, guys. Every chlorine pool across the US. Now, I'm in Texas. I don't know how they deal with it up north. I'm willing to bet you the places in the south, Texas, California, Florida, where most of the pools are anyway, I'm willing to bet you we all deal with it the same way. And that's to simply drain and refill. So we have a responsibility because it's not necessary. We can save a ton of water. Natural pools are not reliant on stabilizer. That's the incredible thing about them. Where a chlorine molecule can be dissipated by the sun, a natural copper molecule, it stays in the pool until it gets used up. So a lot of pools, we're adding a lot of chlorine to these pools, and a lot of it's not even getting used on anything. It's just getting dissipated to the sun or losing its effectiveness and getting weak over time. Whereas natural copper sanitation, it doesn't work that way at all. When you introduce it to the water in parts per million at a fraction of the parts per million of chlorine, it stays in the water until it gets used on something. So no longer do you have to drain and refill the pool on this regular, recurring basis. Can you imagine how much water we could save if people were naturally sanitizing their pools. Not only that, guys, but it costs less money for the consumer, for your customers. It costs less money. It is copper. It is literally pennies. Chlorine's like the most expensive way you could possibly sanitize your pool. So it costs less money. And here's the biggest part about it all. Environmental, great, like all the way. Money, great. Everybody wants to save money. Health. This is so huge, guys. This is so huge. Listen, we can change the world around us. Do you think you can change the world? First of all, if you don't think you can, then you can't, okay? But I am here to tell you, change your thinking on that, because you can. How do you change the world around you? How do you change the world, I should say? The only thing you can do is change the world around you. The people you come in contact with on a regular basis. Listen, I'm so serious here, guys. Do you think it's possible that all the people you come in contact with on a regular basis, we're talking about pool professionals here, you're contacting your customers, they have swimming pools on a regular basis. Do you think it is possible to convert them to a natural pool that's better for their health, doesn't cost very much to begin with, saves them money in the long run on chlorine and on their health, and is better for the environment? Do you think it's possible to improve your world around you in these ways and not notice the improvements directly in your own life? I can tell you right now, guys, when you get on the right side of this, you're gonna feel incredible, because you know you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. So many people are caught up on, I've got to make money, I've got to make profit. I come from a similar place, guys. Whenever I first told my former business coach about what we had figured out, trust me, guys, this isn't my discovery. I'm using a system that's established well before me. When we figured out how well it worked, my business coach was worried. He didn't want me to tell people. He was worried about how we're going to make profit. That's whenever I realized that that's probably every other pool service company that's ever existed since pools started being worked on. One of the first questions they're faced with is, how are they going to make profit? Half of a pool service company's profit and chemical sales comes from chlorine sales. So when you tell a pool service company, hey, stop selling chlorine, there's a better, natural, healthy way to do it, their first reaction is, how am I going to make money? What you have to understand is, guys, how money isn't the most important thing. What's the most important thing? What's the most valuable currency on this planet? It's time. Time. If you're healthy, you're fit, you're living naturally, and you're happy, and you have a nice long life ahead of you, I can tell you right now, you are more wealthy than the wealthiest of individuals out there. The best example I can think of is Steve Jobs, guys. One of the wealthiest individuals on the planet. Do you not, and this is just an example, okay? Just take it for whatever it's worth. Do you not think he would be willing to trade all of his wealth for another day, one day, with his family on this beautiful planet? Or a few hours? What I'm saying is all the wealth in the world is worth nothing if you don't have time. The most valuable thing we have is time. If you improve people's lives in a way that you increase their time on this planet and their quality of their time on this planet, do you not understand how that's going to pay you back? I can't even put the fold on it. I want to say tenfold, but I feel like it's 100-fold, it's 1,000-fold, just in your fulfillment of your life. I'm not saying monetarily, maybe that comes along with it too, but that's not what it's about. That's not. You can't worry about that. You've got to do the best thing for your world and the people around you. That's going to improve your world. It's going to improve the lives of the people that are in your world. And if we're all doing that, guys, how much better of a world are we living in? So we have a responsibility, not just to our environment and to the people around us, but to ourselves. Whenever you go on selling chlorine, look, I don't want to be too harsh against it. We still have chlorine pools too. People have a lot to learn. You have a lot to learn. I understand. But when we go on selling chlorine, negatively affecting our environment, how can we even for a moment think that's going to have any kind of positive benefit on us? Not only that, but I'll show you exactly how it has a negative benefit on you. It affects your health. You're the guy who is coming into contact every single day, day after day, with chlorine. The poison that you're selling, please don't misunderstand my tone. I understand. I've been where you're at. I've done the same thing. We're doing it now, but we're trying to spread awareness. And eventually, I want to have this company to where we have no chlorine pools. I don't want my customers exposed to it. I don't want my employees exposed to it. And I don't want to be exposed to it. As I was saying, when you're selling it to your customers, who do you think's exposed to it on a regular basis? Who do you think's it's affecting the most? You. And the people that work for you, and your family, and your friends. And you know what? The people that you work for, they're your friends too. It's part of your world, guys. You need to open up your world and understand that it's all connected together. We have we have the biggest responsibility any generation of pool guys has had. Everybody before us kicked the can down the road. We don't have to do that anymore. This stuff is well developed, readily available, cheap, better for you, better for them, better for the environment. It's time to make the switch. Let's save our beautiful lake. All the boat docks are closed, guys. You see these boats down here? He's got his own private dock. Great. I want to make it there. No problem. One day I want to make it there. There's no boats down here, guys, with the exception of a few that have their own, that have done really well and positively impacted the world in a way that it rewarded them, that they get to enjoy their incredible yacht out on a lake when nobody else can. That's fantastic. Good for him. Props to him. Love that dude. Let's all be that. Let's all make it there. If you begin to live your life in this way where you're doing the best thing for the people around you and the world around you, I don't know if stuff like that comes naturally, and I don't care, and you won't either. That's the point. Let's step it up. It's our responsibility. You have a chance nobody else had before. This is your opportunity. And let me tell you something. If you don't jump on it, I'm bringing it to your city. Now, I'm going to show you how I'm doing it right here. I'm starting in Austin, Texas, but I'm not stopping here. This message is way too important to stop here. If you don't get started wherever you're at, I'm going to beat you to it. And I'm going to show you how I'm doing it, but you're going to have a damn hard time outworking me. You don't understand the power I have behind me, knowing what my purpose is. See, get to this place where I'm at, where you are positively influencing the world around you. Know that you're on the right track, and you'll have the power too. But not like I do right now. You got a little ways to go to catch up, guys. I'm way ahead. I'm way ahead. But I got faith in you guys. I got faith in this generation. We're going to change the game. They've been doing it the wrong way for a long time. We're super smart nowadays, guys. Everybody's got access to artificial intelligence, internet. Everything that I'm telling you about the harms of chlorine, easily researched just by going to the internet, asking artificial intelligence, Chat GPT, Siri, you name it. All of this information easily verifiable online. Things are going to change. The tide's going to go in our direction. No more toxic, poisonous chlorine. Natural pools, natural sanitation. I have so much more for you guys, and I'll keep it going. This is going to be a great time. All right, let's save Austin, guys. And if you're not in Austin, let's save your city. Save your city. I bet you got a low water level too. If you don't, the other cities who have low water levels are going to be asking you for water soon. So it affects all of us. Save your city, save your people, most importantly, save yourself. Love you guys.